Good evening. Hello. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time if you've never watched the show before. This is, of course, Hoff's Public Domain Horrorfest. I'm your host, Hoff Matthews, and this is a live comedy show and horror movie screening series. We show a movie and we break it up with live comedy host segments like what you're seeing right now. Thank you all for tuning in. We got a great show for you. This is, by the way, something we used to do physically live in Brooklyn, but of course we had to stop doing indoor screenings due to COVID-19, and I actually left New York and came here to my ancestral estate of Hoff Manor to ride out the pandemic here in my haunted mansion. And, like many people who have been working from home, I now, got used to it, and now who knows if or when that'll ever stop being the case. But ever since we went online, we've been showing exclusively older classic horror movies which have fallen into the public domain. And this is actually our 20th show screening public domain movies, not counting all the live in-person shows. This is the 20th time that we've done this, which, I don't know, it feels like it's a bit of a milestone. So thank you all for being here for that. And I think we got a pretty good movie with which to celebrate the occasion. It's called The Most Dangerous Game from 1932. This is, of course, an adaptation of the famous short story by Richard Connell, in which a man finds himself being hunted for sport by a maniacal aristocrat. And one thing that's interesting about this movie is that it was filmed at the same time. Thank you for the celebrations in the chat there. Most Dangerous Game was filmed at the same time, on some of the same sets, and by some of the same people as 1933's King Kong. Both films were co-directed, I believe, by Ernest B. Schoedsack. Marion Cooper, I think, was the co-director of King Kong, and he produced Most Dangerous Game. Fay Wray and Robert Armstrong, I think Noble Johnson, are all in both movies. So they're sort of sibling films, in a way. And what a lot of people don't know is that these two movies were almost even more closely linked. Originally, the idea behind King Kong was sort of playing off of the same thing as The Most Dangerous Game, the concept of man being the most dangerous life form, the most formidable creature that you could go up against. So originally, King Kong was going to be not a giant gorilla, but just a giant guy. And they actually filmed a lot of the movie that way before deciding, you know what, this doesn't work, we need to change something, and then they went back and redid those scenes. But I have some of those scenes from the original version of King Kong, and I'm going to play them for you right now. Just give me a second here.
Oh, hey guys, how's it going? I'm King Kong.
Hey, cut it out! Stop it!
I'm sorry, they get so weird around new people.
Stop it!
I'm going to ask the gentlemen of the press to come forward, so that the audience may have the privilege of seeing them take the first photographs of Kong and his captors.
Hey, welcome to the gun show. Make sure to get my good side. Oh man, I could just take the elevator if I weren't so darn big.
It wasn't the airplanes. It was beauty killed the beast.
Yeah, the really amazing thing is the giant guy was also a stop-motion wireframe covered in rabbit fur. Really just incredible effects for that time. But anyway, to get back to The Most Dangerous Game, this is what we're going to watch tonight, the first film adaptation of the story, but there have been a whole lot since, officially and unofficially, and the most recent incarnation of it was a series on Quibi. Quibi had a Most Dangerous Game show, and if any of you don't know what Quibi is, it was a streaming service launched in 2020, which ended up folding and getting taken down also in 2020. But the idea was that it provided entertainment in the form of quick bites. So episodes that were only like 10 minutes long that you were supposed to be able to just like watch on your phone while you were commuting. So they had a Most Dangerous Game show, which consisted of 15 episodes. But because the episodes were like 10 minutes long, it was also sort of like a 2-hour movie cut into 15 chunks, which, I don't know why anyone would want to watch a Most Dangerous Game movie divided up into smaller chunks. It doesn't make any sense. But that's what they did. And I feel pretty confident assuming that none of you have seen the Most Dangerous Game Quibi show. Sound off in the chat if I'm wrong about that and you have seen it. But since at least most of you must not have watched it, I thought it would be fun to pull a clip from it and just play it for you here now. Because it's interesting. You can tell they really tried to update the material for our current moment, or the moment that was current, before COVID-19 when the show was produced. So here's a clip from the Quibi version of The Most Dangerous Game.
You're telling me that if I survive a full day of being hunted for sport, that I could win $25 million? That's lit, Zaddy.
Yes, it is so lit. It is the most dangerous game. Many are saying it is the most dangerous game ever invented. We're all talking about it. Everyone knows it. It is just so incredible. Very, very dangerous. I'm a very, very stable genius.
Boy, I hope nobody like that ever becomes president, especially for 2 terms. Anyway, I'm gonna have assassins hunting me from all directions. I gotta be aware of my surroundings. Cool.
See, they really captured the zeitgeist with that. Like I said, Quibi shut down, so you can't download their app or anything anymore. But if you like that clip and you want to see the whole show, they did sell their whole content library to a guy in my neighborhood who sells DVDs out of a shopping cart. So if you're interested, let me know. I'll see if I can flag him down the next time he comes around. So, last thing that I want to do before we start the movie is play a little audience participation game to get the energy up in here and in the chat. Or as we like to call it this time around, the Most Dangerous Audience Participation Game. All right, and what we're going to do is I'm going to put a quiz up on screen, and the first person who puts the correct answers to the quiz in the chat will win this towel, which you can see it's got spooky skulls and festive foliage on it. It's the perfect HorrorFest accessory for your summer vacation. And the subject of this quiz is going to be shipwreck survivors. Not to give too much away, but there is a shipwreck at the beginning of this movie, which the main character survives. So what I'm going to show you is pictures of famous fictional shipwreck survivors, and then on the other side of the screen, pictures of the ships that they were on that got wrecked. And so you'll have to match the people who were on the ships with the pictures of the ships. Okay, so if you're all ready, it seems like you guys are excited, you're into it. I'm going to put these pictures up. So here are your survivors, okay? And you'll have to match them to these wrecks. So which ones go with which? Who was on which ship? Is it A1, B2, C3? Did I not change the order at all? I'm not going to say. I'm not going to give anything away. I want to see if you guys can figure this out on your own. So, I'll give you a moment. As you can see, on the list of survivors there, we've got a lady in a big silly hat. We've got a guy in a smaller but maybe sillier hat. We've got a wet man. There's the guy in the head wrapping. A glamorous woman of some sort. And down there at the bottom, obviously that's Gilligan. Not to give too much away, but that guy at the bottom there is, of course, Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. And then the ships. So let's see. Okay, somebody says F3. Perhaps you might be on the wrong track, the right track there. Oh, I see somebody's got a list of answers here. Let's see. Kind existentialist. You're not entirely there. Not quite there yet. The field is still open here. Kind existentialist, good effort. You got some right ones, some wrong ones, but it's still, if you post the correct ones, it can still go to you. Oh wait, we got one from KSB Pictures, which is correct. KSB Pictures you have won the game. The first picture there is Kate Winslet as Rose in Titanic, which is in picture number 5. If you look really closely, I think even at this resolution, you can see Rose and Jack on the prow of the ship there. B is, I believe, Jack Albertson, if I recall correctly, from the Poseidon Adventure, picture number 6, the boat that's upside down. C is Mark Wahlberg from The Perfect Storm in picture number 1. That's the Andrea Gale. Some of you, if you're going to try to be pedantic, might tell me, hey, he didn't survive, but he did survive the shipwreck. Okay, he didn't live forever. Nobody lives forever, but he survived the shipwreck, so I'm counting it. D is Pi from Life of Pi, if you guys remember that. He was on the boat in picture number 4, which sank, and then he ended up in the lifeboat with the tiger. E is Sandra Bullock in Speed 2. Cruise Control from picture number 2, the Seaborn Legend, I think is the name of that boat. And then F, as I said, is Gilligan, Bob Denver as Gilligan from Gilligan's Island, who was on picture number 3, the Minnow. So, once again, great job, KSB Pictures, great job to everyone who just participated. And KSB, well, I was going to tell you email us so that I can get your shipping info. I think I already have it, actually, in this case, so that won't be necessary. But everybody else, you should still email us if you're not on the email list, so we can put you on it and you can get updates on upcoming shows, the details about when the shows are going to be and what movies we're going to be screening, and all that. So if you want to find out that information, email us at hoffshorrorfest@gmail.com, or, and I'm going to put a link in the chat here, you can go to the Google form that I just linked in the chat and sign up through that. Wonderful. Yes, you're going to look great with your Speedo and that towel. Thank you. I think it was a pretty good game. Thank you. All right, and so now I think we are ready to begin tonight's film, which is, of course, as I said, The Most Dangerous Game. And me and my co-producers, Andrei Alupului, George Gordon, and Marybess Pritchett, have added a few things to the movie, as always. Not that much. Most of what you see will just be the original 1932 film. But here and there will be some original Easter eggs that we've sprinkled in. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be back on in 15 minutes or so. But for now, please enjoy Act 1 of The Most Dangerous Game.
Channels here on the chart, all right. And so are the marking lights.
Then what's wrong with them?
Those lights don't seem to be in just the right place. They're both a bit out of position, according to this.
2 light buoys mean a safe channel between the world over.
Safe between the world over doesn't go in these waters. Look here. You'll see the water shoals on the island side, while the deep soundings run to the mainland.
Have any of you seen the captain today?
No, he wasn't down for dinner.
No, and he wasn't down for lunch. He hasn't left the bridge since you decided to come through the channel.
What are you driving at?
Ever since you gave him those orders yesterday to cut through these waters, he's had the jitters. There's something wrong. Yeah, I'm getting nerves myself.
Doc, what do you recommend for nerves?
Give him a shot of scotch.
Good.
Give him the whole bottle.
No, I've got nerves too.
Here you are, Doc.
Just what you need.
Well, maybe you're right.
Good evening, Captain.
Good evening, sir. May I speak with you?
Why, certainly. Go ahead.
We're heading straight for the channel between Brank Island and the mainland.
Good.
But the lights are just a bit off, according to the chart.
But charts are never up to date in this part of the Pacific. You know that.
I know, sir, but doesn't Brank Island mean anything to you?
Well, not a lot.
Well, perhaps if I could talk with Mr. Rainsford,
But Bob's not a sailor. He's a hunter.
he's made many of these trips. He's young, but he has judgment.
I'll call him.
Oh, Bob. Bob.
What is it?
Come up here, will you?
Just a minute. What's bothering you, Captain?
There are no more coral reef, shark-infested waters in the whole world than these.
Boy, just take a look at these. You didn't turn out so hot as a hunter, Doc, but oh, what a photographer. Say, if we'd had you to take pictures on the Sumatran trip, you might have believed my book.
If you'd had me on the Sumatran trip, you'd never had me on this one.
Say, here's the swell one of the ship, Skipper. Well, what's the matter?
These old sea dogs tell yarns to kid each other and end up believing it all themselves.
Well, I think that Mr. Rainsford should know that the channel lights aren't just in the position given on the chart.
Oh. Well, what do you think, fellas?
I think we should turn back and take the outside course.
Oh,
Turn back now.
no,
No, no.
Excelsior. We'll go ahead.
Very well, sir. It's your ship.
It was the schooner Hesperus, and she sailed the wintry sea.
Now, wait a minute, fellas. Let's talk this over. There's no use taking any chances.
Chances? That's fine talk coming from a fellow who just got through slapping tigers in the face. Here, get an eyeful of this. And he talks about taking chances. Here's the Doc charging the enemy with an unloaded camera. Get the expression on Doc's face, Bill. He looks more frightened than the tiger. He is. Just what you have on your mind, Doc.
I'll tell you what I had on my mind. I was thinking of the inconsistency of civilization. The beast of the jungle, killing just for his existence, is called savage. The man, killing just for sport, is called civilized.
Here, here.
It's a bit contradictory, isn't it?
Now, just a minute. What makes you think it isn't just as much sport for the animal as it is for the man? Now, take that fellow right there, for instance. He couldn't have gotten away. But he didn't want to. He got interested in hunting me. He didn't hate any more than I hated him for trying to charge me. As a matter of fact, we admired each other.
Perhaps. But would you change places with the tiger?
Well, not now.
Here comes that bad luck lady again. Third time tonight.
Here, let me shuffle him.
Wait a minute. Don't evade the issue.
Yes, come, speak up.
I asked you a question.
Yes.
You did? Oh, I forgot.
No, you didn't. I asked you if there'd be as much sport in the game if you were the tiger instead of the hunter.
Got you now, Bob. Well, that's something I'll never have to decide.
No?
Listen here, you fellas. This world's divided into two kinds of people, the hunter and the hunted. Now, luckily, I'm a hunter. Nothing can ever change that.
Hello down there. Hello, engine room.
The dynamo squadron.
If the water ever hits those hot boilers.
Where are the others?
See anybody?
Nobody left but us two and that fellow.
Oh! He got me!
Hello, anybody here?
Anybody around, I say? Oh, hello. Is this your house? I'm not trying to break in, but I've been in a wreck. Our yacht just sunk with all hands. I got ashore and found your place here by accident. I'm not trying to intrude, but I'm in sort of a jam. Don't you understand any English?
Ivan does not speak any language. He has the misfortune to be dumb.
Oh, hello. Are you the owner here?
Yes. Welcome to my poor fortress.
Fortress?
It once was, built by the Portuguese centuries ago. I have had the ruins restored to make my home here. I am Count Zaroff.
My name's Robert Rainsford. Glad to meet you. Very glad.
Oh, yeah. Ivan is a Cossack. I am afraid, like all my fellow countrymen, he is a bit of a savage. Smile, Ivan. Ulidnis!
I was trying to make him understand there'd been a shipwreck in the channel.
Chort возьми! But how appalling! And you mean to say that you are the only survivor?
Yes. I'm afraid I am.
You're certain?
Well, I'd never left the spot if I hadn't been. The swellest crowd on earth. My best friends. It's incredible.
Such things are always incredible. Death is for others, not for ourselves. That is how most of my other guests have felt.
Your other guests? You mean this has happened before?
My dear fellow, we have several survivors from the last wreck still in the house. It would seem that this island were cursed.
That's just what the captain said. Only he thought it was uninhabited.
We Cossacks find our inspiration in solitude.
Well, it's a break for me anyway.
My house is yours, sir. Oh, by the way, you want to change those wet rags immediately.
Yes. They look about the way I feel.
Yes. I have some loose hunting clothes which I keep for my guests that you can possibly get into. Od vidi Ivov krajnyu komnatu. Ivan will show you to your room.
Thank you.
You'll find a stiff drink there also.
Thanks a lot.
Rashu, all pleasure is mine.
There's something sinister about that guy. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. But anyway, here on HorrorFest, sometimes we like to bring on film industry professionals to sort of give us some behind-the-scenes insights about the films that we're screening. And I'm very excited to say that tonight we'll be talking live with stunt coordinator Judith Molotov Melton. She's coming to us from Los Angeles, California, Hollywood, USA. So just give me a second, and I'm going to bring Judith up right now. Getting the Zoom connection going. Singing the song about starting the Zoom connection. We love it. There it is. Let's get the audio going. And scooch myself over to the side of the screen here. All right, Judith, hello. Thank you so much for being on the show. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thanks, Hoff, and please call me Molotov. Everybody does.
Of course, yeah. That's a really interesting nickname. Do you mind sharing where it comes from?
Sure can, Hoff. I was working on the 1997 action romance film Speed 2 Cruise Control, and some of these stunts called for pyrotechnics. Now, Sandy, she was a pro from the first movie, driving the big bus, going through windows, all that kind of stuff. But some of the stunt performers thought we were going to use flares, special gels, that kind of stuff. But I am a practical effects purist, so my team made over 100 Molotov cocktails for the shoot.
That's impressive. It sounds dangerous. I hope nobody was hurt.
Okay.
Well, in regards to the film we're screening tonight, we just saw a big shipwreck. A lot of characters died. There was at least one shark attack. Can you tell us how a sequence like that is put together?
It's real simple, Hoff. You got your wide-angle shots and your disposable cameras, crew, and talent, and you just let her rip.
Let her rip?
Yeah. You just got to make sure there's enough film in the cameras and enough fake blood on set in case there's not enough blood in the actors. And then once you've choreographed the way each shot is going to go, you stand back and just watch it happen.
Forgive me, Molotov. It sort of sounds like you're saying that
it's all real. Yeah. Where do you think the phrase blood, sweat, and tears comes from?
Like even a shark attack?
Especially the shark attacks. Hoff, do you know how many people have given their lives to make the movies that we know and love? I mean, people are literally dying to get into Hollywood. I've been in this business over 20 years. And in all my time working behind the scenes, I've never once used, fire safety gear, crash mats, rigging, Band-Aids. I mean, come on.
But aren't those dangerous choices?
I'm going to tell you something, Hoff. Movie makers today, are lazy. It's all green screen and CGI, and we'll do it in post. It lacks grit. And I mean, it's choosing the easy way over a little elbow grease and, hard work and maybe a few missing fingers. But you know what? You do it for the craft.
Well, I mean, look, I certainly don't respect people who just do everything through green screen, but I mean, you're saying this is the approach you take with all of your projects?
Listen, Hoff, I'm in it for the realism. Okay, some filmmakers just can't hack it. And you know what? I chalk it up to creative differences. I change my name and I move on to the next project.
Okay, this is something maybe I should have looked further into when I was booking you, but what are some of those other projects that you've worked on, apart from Speed 2?
Yeah, so like The Crow, Triple X, Waterworld, The Dark Knight, and I don't just make movies. No. Have you ever heard of a little project called Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, Judith, Molotov, thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you, Hoff. And, it's like my mom always used to say, you only regret, in the end, the chances that you don't take and the fires you never set. Am I right?
Have a good night. Well, it goes without saying, don't try any of that stuff at home. Probably don't try it anywhere, just to be totally clear. But a very interesting chat. So, let's see some more of the film.
Come in.
Ready, Rainsford?
All set.
I'm afraid we have finished dinner, but I have ordered something for you.
Thanks. I don't feel like eating.
Oh, dear. Well, perhaps later. Now then, what do you say to coffee and most charming company? It is hard to forget your comrade's fate, I know, but our feminine guest is easily perturbed. If I could beg you to put a good face upon the matter, assume a cheerfulness you may not feel.
Why, sure, of course.
Thank you. Miss Trowbridge, may I present Mr. Robert Rainsford, Miss Eve Trowbridge.
How'd you do?
How do you do?
And her brother, Mr. Martin Trowbridge.
All right, old chap. Pretty well shaken up, I guess, huh?
Coming out of it now, thanks.
We know just how it feels. Don't we, Eve?
Indeed, we do. Perhaps Mr. Rainsford would like some hot coffee.
Oh, yes, of course. Mr. Rainsford, please sit here.
Oh, thank you.
Digostu coffee vodka.
Vodka, that's the stuff. One shot'll dry you out quicker than all the coffee in Java. Have to toss it off, though, like this.
Now, Martin, you don't have to drink it all tonight, do you?
Don't be ridiculous, sis. We are victims of circumstance, same as Mr. Rainsford. And if anyone has a right to his liquor, it's a victim of circumstance. Isn't that so, Count?
Of course, yes.
You were in a shipwreck, too, I understand.
Yes. Our lifeboat was the only one saved. My brother and I and two sailors. The Count found us on the beach with nothing but the clothes on our backs.
Those channel lights must have been shifted. I wonder it hasn't been reported.
Well, we'll report him, just as soon as we get back to the mainland.
You see, the Count has only one launch, and that's under repair.
Russians are not the best mechanics. I'm afraid we'll have to be patient a few days longer.
That's all right with me. I feel as if I were living on borrowed time right now.
Speaking of that, perhaps now you'll tell us a little bit about who you are. Just sketchily, you know. Born, married, why I left my last job.
No. One moment, please. Mr. Rainsford need never explain who he is in my house.
No?
No, we entertain a celebrity, Miss Trowbridge.
Wait a minute. Don't tell me. Let me guess. I know. Flagpole sitter.
Oh, flagpole sitter.
I know. He wrote some books.
No, he lived some books. If I am not mistaken, this is Mr. Robert Rainsford, who hunts big game so adventurously.
Yeah? Yes, do you?
I've lugged the gun around a little.
I've lugged the gun around a little. No, I have read your books. I read all books on hunting. Papirosu?
Thank you.
only in yours have I found a sane point of view.
What do you mean, sane?
Cigarette?
Yeah, thanks.
You do not excuse what needs no excuse. Now, let me see, how did you put it? Hunting is as much a game as stud poker, only the limits are higher. You have put our case perfectly, Mr. Rainsford.
Well, then you're a hunter yourself.
We are kindred spirits. It is my one passion.
He sleeps all day and hunts all night. And what's more, Rainsford, he'll have you doing the same thing.
We'll have capital sport together, I hope.
Don't encourage him. You know, he's had our 2 sailors so busy chasing around the woods after flora and fauna that we haven't seen him for 3 days.
But what do you hunt here?
I'll tell you. You will be amused, I know. I have done a rare thing. I have invented a new sensation.
Yeah, and is he stingy with it?
What is this sensation, Count?
Mr. Rainsford, God made some men poets. Some he made kings, some beggars. Me he made a hunter. My hand was made for the trigger, my father told me. He was a very rich man with 250,000 acres in the Crimea and an ardent sportsman. When I was only stirrup high, he gave me my first gun.
Good for him.
My life has been one glorious hunt. It would be impossible for me to tell you how many animals I have killed. But when the revolution flamed up...
Look out.
Victory stop!
Oh, I'm so sorry. Count Zaroff was so interesting, I didn't realize the danger.
Oh, it's all right now. What were you saying about the revolution, Count?
Oh, merely that I escaped with most of my fortune. Naturally, I continued to hunt all over the world. It was in Africa that the Cape Buffalo gave me this.
That must have been a close call.
Yes, it still bothers me sometimes. However, in 2 months, I was on my way to the Amazon. I'd heard that the jaguars there were unusually cunning. No sport at all.
Well, conditions are bad everywhere these days.
One night as I lay in my tent with this head of mine, a terrible thought crept like a snake into my brain. Hunting was beginning to bore me.
Is that such a terrible thought, Count?
It is, my dear lady, when hunting has been the whip for all other passions. When I lost my love of hunting, I lost my love of life. Of love.
Well, you seem to have stood it pretty well.
I even tried to sink myself to the level of the savage. I made myself perfect in the use of the Tartar war bow.
Tartar which?
Tartar war bow. That one up there.
That's cute.
Even to this day, I prefer to hunt with it. But alas, even that was too deadly. What I needed was not a new weapon, but a new animal.
A new animal?
Exactly so.
You found one?
Yes. Here on my island, I hunt the most dangerous game.
The most dangerous game? You mean tigers?
Tigers? No. The tiger has nothing but his claws and his fangs.
I heard some queer beast howling back there along the water. Was that it?
It's no use, Rainsford. He won't tell. He won't even let you see his trophy room till he gets ready to take you on the hunt of the great What's-It.
My one secret. I keep it as a surprise for my guests against the rainy day of boredom.
Listen, old boy, you let me in on that game and I'll bet you I go for it. You know, Rainsford, he hasn't failed yet. If he says the thing is good, it is good. He's a judge of liquor, wizard of the contract, plays the piano, anything you want. He's a good host. And a good scout, eh, Count?
Yes, yes.
You want me to go hunting? All right, you just say the word. We're pals. We'll have a big party, get cockeyed, and go hunting.
A completely civilized point of view.
Now, listen, I'll tell you what you do. You come to my place in the Adirondacks sometime, see? We'll have a private car, liquor and gals on the trip, and the guides will make the deers behave.
I think we'd better change the subject.
All right. Change the subject. Oh, I know. Play the piano, huh?
If you wish.
Good idea. Play the piano. Now leave it to me and I'll fix everything.
Perhaps the Count doesn't want to play.
Now there you go. It says throwing cold water. Now leave me alone. I know where the piano is. I'm perfectly sober.
A charming simplicity.
Completely civilized, did you say?
He talks of wine and women as a prelude to the hunt. We barbarians know that it is after the chase and then only that man revels.
It does seem a bit like cocktails before breakfast.
Of course, yes. You know the saying of the Ogandi chieftains. Hunt first the enemy, then the woman.
That's the savage's idea everywhere.
It is the natural instinct. What is woman? Even such a woman as this, until the blood is quickened by the kill.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. You Americans. One passion builds upon another. Kill, then love. When you have known that, you will have known ecstasy.
Oh, Martin.
Introducing Zaroff, the keyboard king, in his Branca Island hour. Come on, Count, now you show him.
What do you suggest?
Oh, just a good tune, but not highbrow like last night. Just a good tune, see?
I see.
Yeah.
Hunting dogs.
Keep your voice low and listen. It isn't true about the launch needing repairs. I heard it leave the boathouse last night. It returned this morning.
You mean he's keeping you from returning to the mainland?
Yes.
Well, perhaps he enjoys the company of two very charming people.
Two, maybe. There were 4 of us a week ago. The other 2 have disappeared.
What do you mean?
One night after dinner, the Count took one of our sailors down to see his trophy room. At the foot of those stone steps.
That iron door?
Yes. 2 nights later, he took the other there. Neither has been seen since.
Have you asked him about them?
He says they've gone hunting. Oh, be careful. He's watching us. Will you smile as if I'd said something funny?
Now, look here, you must be mistaken.
Not now. Applaud.
Attaboy.
Thank you.
What did I tell you? Smack some in ivory, eh, Rainsford?
It was splendid. Don't stop, please.
Now, I'm afraid we have failed to hold the full attention of our audience.
Well, I expect it's rather difficult for Mr. Rainsford to concentrate on anything after all he's been through.
Oh, my dear lady, you are pleading for yourself. I can see the drooping of those lovely eyes. Excuse me. Provadeo naver.
You know, the Count's worse than a family governess. Every night he sends us off to bed like naughty children.
Oh, no, my dear. No. Charming children.
There. You hear that, sis? Now trot along upstairs and don't bother us grown-ups anymore.
Well, after that, I guess I'll have to go. Good night, Mr. Rainsford.
Good night. We'll be seeing each other at breakfast.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, sis. We won't be seeing each other at breakfast.
Oh, my dear Rainsford, I have been most inconsiderate. You must be feeling the need of sleep, too.
Yes, I am just about all in.
Then Ivan will show you to your room. Oh, tu je comme le dos.
Oh, Martin, turn in early, please.
Don't worry. The Count will take care of me, all right.
Indeed I shall. night.
Good night, sir. Sleep well.
Oh, well, here's long life.
A long life. Tell me, Mr. Trowbridge, are you also fatigued?
Tired? Me? You know I'm not. You know, Rainsford, we two are just alike. Up all night and sleep all day. Well, good night. Well, what are we gonna do, huh? What's the big idea?
I thought that perhaps tonight you would like to see my trophy room.
Your trophy room?
I'm sure you will find it most interesting.
Say, that's a great idea. Oh, now we're pals. No more secrets now, huh? We'll make a night of it.
I hope so, Mr. Trowbridge.
Just you and I, pals. We'll have fun together, huh?
Precisely, yes. Fun together.
Ah, boy, County, old boy, County.
That was all one scene. Like a Tarantino movie or something. But anyway, like I said at the beginning of the show, this movie was shot on some of the same sets as King Kong, and I think as we get further into it, if you've seen King Kong, that'll become more obvious. But that's sort of a common technique for a lot of the movies that we show on this public domain version of HorrorFest. The Terror famously was shot on castle sets that were left over from, I think, The Raven, because they had some days left on the schedule. They were like, let's just start another movie here. Bucket of Blood and Dementia 13 were a similar thing. Horror Express, they had like a miniature train from another movie that they just figured, let's see what else we can do with this. And, you know, us here at HorrorFest, me and my co-producers, we're kind of aspiring horror filmmakers ourselves. And a few years ago, we were fortunate enough to have access to the sets of a certain feature film production, and we decided to use that access to make our own movie on those sets. And I'm going to play the movie that we made for you right now. It's called The Mysterious Castle in 1878.
Saffelden is a small hamlet here in the Austrian Alps, barely visible on the map. I, paranormal detective Chip Stanley, have been summoned here by my old schoolmate, Baron von Schnitzler. It appears there has been a mysterious event at his family home, Castle Schnitzler. I hadn't seen him since we fought in the March Revolution, though he'd send invites from time to time. Still, I was curious to find how the years had treated my old friend and comrade.
Chip, my friend, it is so good you are here.
Hello there, Jurgen. Long time no see, old chap.
Yes, it is 1878 now here in Austria. We have not seen each other since 1848. And now you're here at this old castle. Would but that it were under better circumstances.
Oh, we make our own fun, old bean.
I remember you saying that before the war tribune.
What was that? Is that the mysterious presence that you're dealing with?
Oh no, that was my daughter. She keeps thinking she sees the ghost of her mother.
Never really recovered since her mysterious death.
Makes sense.
Oh, now that is a problem. Let's take this castle hallway. Not again.
What is the meaning of this?
I believe Mr. Dursdorf was wearing this earlier today while sweeping the halls. He must be the latest to disappear.
You're telling me that people have been disappearing in this castle and leaving behind their clothes?
Yes, that's the conceit for this one.
Fascinating! It's like the rapture!
Is that the Bible?
It's a ghost thing. There, yeah. Yes! Over there, see?
What is that?
Ectoplasm. Your daughter's visions may be the key to all of this.
Hannah, we need to speak to you now.
Of
Father, what is it?
That's right, Baroness von Schnitzler. We need to speak with you.
What?
The Baroness was her mother. What do you say?
I'm saying, jerky old boy, that Hannah has been both people the whole time. You see...
Mother?
Yes, dear?
I feel fear.
Make them disappear.
What the fuck?
Hannah is your dead wife and your daughter. She was the same person the whole time.
Oh God, what?
Your daughter! Your wife! Your daughter! Your wife!
Why are you slapping me?
This is how we process psychological trauma in the 1800s!
But how did I not know that my wife and my daughter were the same person?
Because an ancient demon came and made her a person and put her into your life.
But for who?
Me! It was me the whole time!
No!
That's right. I can also turn into a bat.
There you go. And, you know, if you haven't seen Blade Runner 2049, you'd never know we didn't just build those sets ourselves. It's just a very practical approach to filmmaking. So let's see some more of The Most Dangerous Game.
Please let me come in. I'm sorry to disturb you, but I'm frightened.
What was it, those dogs?
My brother. I've been listening for hours for him to come upstairs. I've just gone to his room. He isn't there.
Well, he's probably somewhere with the Count.
That's just what I'm afraid of. Count Zaroff is planning something about my brother and me.
You don't really think anything's happened to your brother?
Oh, I don't know, but we've got to find him. Won't you help me?
Well, of course I'll help you. Where do you think he's gone?
Where did the others go?
The iron door. I'll meet you downstairs in 5 minutes.
Thank you.
That's queer. It's unlocked.
Zaroff, he's coming down.
Back here, quick!
Хорошо. Приема вниз. Положи его на скамейку.
Where's my brother?
Miss Trowbridge!
Where's my brother? You killed him. You killed my brother. You!
Dennis! Why you... Возьмите ее наверх. Come, my dear Rainsford. I don't want to treat you like my other guests. You and I, we are hunters.
So that's your most dangerous game.
Yes, my dear fellow, I intended to tell you last night, but you know, Miss Trowbridge...
You hunted him like an animal.
I know what you think, but you are wrong. He was sober and fit for sport when I sent him out. An hour or two strapped up in here brought him to his senses.
You raving maniac!
Yes. I'll take it off. When we finish, the stupid fellow tried to escape through the swamps of Fog Hollow. You see, when I first began stocking my island, many of my guests thought I was joking. So I established this trophy room. I always bring them here before the hunt. An hour with my trophies, and they usually do their best to keep away from me.
Where do you get these poor devils?
Providence provided my island with dangerous reefs.
But there are light buoys to mark the safe channel.
They do not always mark it.
You shifted them.
Precisely right. Too bad your yacht should have suffered. But at least it brought us together.
You take half-drowned men from ships you've wrecked and drive them out to be hunted.
I give them every consideration. Good food, exercise, everything to get them in splendid shape.
To be shot down in cold blood.
Oh, no. Oh, I admit with this annoying fellow. But usually I give them hunting clothes, a woodsman's knife, and a full day's start. Why, I even wait until midnight to give them the full advantage of the dark. Only till sunrise, he wins the game.
Suppose he refuses to be hunted.
Ivan is such an artist with these. Invariably, Mr. Rainsford, invariably they choose to hunt.
And when they win?
To date, I have not lost. Oh, Rainsford, you'll find this game worth playing. When the next ship arrives, we'll have gorgeous sport together.
You murdering rat, I'm a hunter, not an assassin.
Come, Rainsford, say you will hunt with me.
Hunt men?
Say you'll hunt with me! No?
What do you think I am?
One I fear who dare not follow his own convictions to their logical conclusion. I'm afraid in this instance, Mr. Rainsford, you may have to follow them.
What do you mean?
I shall not wait for the next ship. 4 o'clock. The sun is just rising. Ostekniki na Rushniki. Come, Mr. Rainsford. Let us not waste time. Ivan. Yingis. Your fangs and claws, Mr. Rainsford.
going to be hunted.
Oh, no, Miss Trowbridge. Outdoor chess. His brain against mine. His woodcraft against mine. And the prize?
The prize?
You may recall what I said last evening. Only after the kill does man know the true ecstasy of love.
Suppose you lose.
If I do not, what shall I say, find you between midnight and sunrise tomorrow, freedom for both of you.
I'm going with you.
No. He'll kill you, too.
Not at all. One does not kill the female animal. If you lose, I can easily recapture her alive.
All right. I'll take her with me, then. We'll set him a trail he'll remember.
It's only fair to advise you against Fog Hollow. Outdoor chess, Mr. Rainsford.
Don't lose your nerve. We beat this thing.
The others didn't.
We will. Come on, let's get going.
All right, and now I guess the game is afoot. You know, the thing is, obviously, I mean, you guys knew what the deal was with the island for, you know, the whole time. Now, in the film, it's officially revealed. We understand what Zaroff's whole deal is. But, you know, if you take away the being hunted for sport stuff, it is still a very nice island. It's all tropical. It's got that great chateau that the Count lives in and everything. My co-producer, George Gordon, actually found a travel promo video advertising this island as a vacation destination. And, you know, I mean, it kind of tiptoes around the murder stuff and all that. But, you know, it makes a pretty convincing case. So I'm going to play it for you right now. This remote island, located off the western coast of South America, boasts beautiful beaches, luxurious wildlife, and a jungle to die for. Once you have reached the island, you and your guests will be staying at the chateau of Count Zaroff, who is more than willing to accommodate all your needs. Because of the island's exclusivity, we actually only employ one staff member, but he's a trained professional who is sworn to secrecy, which means we allow our guests to do anything they desire. From a full bar to an elegant food menu, this island is the land where the elite can have the most elite time. Count Zaroff, who also doubles as a guide through the island on hunting trips, has a hands-on approach to lodging that is second to none. So come on down to the island and we'll show you a screaming good time. Because folks, you haven't truly lived until you've lived a little dangerously. Well, you know, I guess people maybe could have actually read between the lines on that. Wasn't quite as subtle as I sort of remembered it being. But let's see some more of the film.
It seems as though we've come miles.
Yeah. Well, 3 hours doesn't take you far in this jungle. Come on, let's keep going. Come on. Just a little more of this, then easy downhill going. Soon be safe. No wonder he was so sure.
This island's no bigger than a deer park.
Oh, Bob!
Come on now.
What are we going to do?
We didn't each live through a shipwreck to let this crazy manhunter worry us.
I shouldn't have come with you. You might beat him if you were alone.
Alone? And leave you here with that savage? Not a chance. Now we've got to think of something to worry him.
Oh, you'd never get near him. He'd shoot on sight.
Weapons aren't everything in the jungle. Say, did you notice that leaning tree down there?
The one we just passed?
Yes. Come on, I want to show you something. You see? If that supporting branch were cut away, this fallen tree would make a perfect melee deadfall.
A melee deadfall? What's that?
A man-killing contraption the natives use. It'll stop that madman, all right. Trouble is, it takes quite a few hours to build.
He said he wouldn't follow till midnight.
That's right. If you help me, I think we'll have time. Come on, we'll cut some strong vines. There. Almost ready. This bracelet of yours makes a fine guide ring for my necktie.
He'll have been on his way almost an hour now.
Look out! Don't touch that trip line. You'll have a 2-ton tree down on your back. Jungle wood's as heavy as iron.
Will it really work?
Never known a living thing to get by one yet. Look here. You touch that trip line, you'll pull that trigger free. Once that's loose, there's nothing to keep the log from coming down. It'll crash down and kill anything underneath it.
Look.
We're ready. Let them come. Give me that knife.
Come out, Rainsford. Why prolong it? I'll not bungle this shot. You'll never even feel it. But surely you don't think that anyone who has hunted leopards would follow you into that ambush? Oh, very well. If you choose to play the leopard, I shall hunt you like a leopard.
Maybe it's a trick.
Where did he go?
He's playing with us, like a cat with a mouse.
What do you mean?
You heard him say he'd hunt us as he'd hunt a leopard. It means he's gone for his high-powered rifle.
His rifle. Oh, Bob, we must get away from here. Run, quick.
Eve, wait. That's Fog Hollow ahead.
Fog Hollow?
The swamp where he caught the others. We haven't a chance of keeping ahead of him there.
But there's no place else to run.
That's just what he's counting on. We've got 2 hours till dawn. We've got to use our brains instead of our legs.
And he'll have his rifle.
And we'll have a man trap. Look.
Oh, makes me dizzy.
Cover this over. When Mr. Zarov falls down there, he'll be all through hunting. Quick, gather some leaves and grass. I'll cut some branches.
Very good, Rainsford. Very good. You have not won yet. Look at your watch. Are you looking at it?
Still half an hour till sunrise.
Swamp or no swamp, we can keep ahead of him that long.
As you are doubtless saying, the odds are against me. You have made my rifle useless in the fog. You cannot blame me if I overcome that obstacle.
Close to the end of the film, and if you've been watching the show for a while, you know what that means. It's time for the Horror Host Highlight Reel. I got a text graphic for it and everything this time. It's a big deal. And if you have not watched the show before, the idea here is that all the movies we screen on this public domain version of HorrorFest have been around for a while. They've been in the public domain for a while. So a lot of people have hosted screenings of them before we came along on late night television or the internet or wherever. So rather than pretending we're doing some unique thing here, which has never been done before, we like to pay tribute to the tradition that we're a part of. Yeah, that's right. That's a good level of excitement in the chat. By putting together a montage of other horror hosts hosting the film of the night. So, without further ado, here is your Horror Host Highlight Reel for The Most Dangerous Game.
Tonight, we watch 1932 action thriller horror movie, The Most Dangerous Game.
We have the 1932 classic RKO picture, The Most Dangerous Game.
From RKO in 1932, a pre-code film The most dangerous game.
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 Today we are watching The Most Deadliest Game, 1932. That's what you put in your search for
The most
on YouTube.
dangerous game.
Oh, excuse me.
Alice brought this because she thought that this is the most dangerous game. Hangman.
Whoa, oh no, someone's turning the camera. Uh-oh, the bath toy is going that way.
Oh my fucking god.
This looks just like the set on King Kong.
Faster, Igor! They're giving away! Welcome to Classic, where we revisit movies and television shows from another time and discuss them with some of the finest Catholic minds in the Brooklyn Diocese.
I don't know if I would say that Zorov is just, a lot of times people think that he represents the devil. I think he just represents a lot of temptations that are a part of life, and it's really our struggle with temptations. We all kind of are encountering Zorovs in our life who are tempting us.
See, that's why we have Monsignor Harrington on Classic, because if it were up to me, I'd just say, it's a great movie. It's great.
There you go. Some of the finest Catholic minds in the Brooklyn Diocese. So you're welcome. And now, please enjoy the thrilling conclusion of The Most Dangerous Game.
animals I cornered. Now I know how they felt.
Ahmed, Miss Trowbridge, bring her here. Now! My dear Rainsford, I congratulate you. You have beaten me.
Not yet.
Oh, but of course I insist. Why, you're not even wounded.
You hit the dog, not me. I took a chance and went over with him.
A clever trick, Rainsford. I cheerfully admit defeat. Here's the key of the boathouse. The door is in the trophy room. You and Miss Trowbridge may leave at once. No!
There you go. That was The Most Dangerous Game. Hope you all enjoyed the film. I think it's a really good one. It was actually a favorite of the Zodiac Killer. He referenced it in, I believe, some of his letters to the police. So, something to think about as you go to sleep. Thank you all for tuning in to the show tonight. We will be back in July on Wednesday, July 21st with Creature from the Haunted Sea. That is a Roger Corman production, so a lot of you will know it means it's going to be a good time. And it's also a very beachy, tropical movie. I think it's going to be a great summer flick for us. So that's Wednesday, July 21st. Mark your calendars. And if you're not already on the email list, email us at hoffshorrorfest@gmail.com. Get on there, and we will get you the information about this show and all upcoming HorrorFest shows. I've been your host, Hoff Matthews. My co-producers on this show are Andrei Alupului, Marybess Pritchett, and George Gordon. I believe it's George's birthday tomorrow, so use some birthday wishes for him in the chat there. I saw in the chat also, I guess it's Talk to Samson's birthday tomorrow as well, so happy birthday to both of you. And we also had Mike Sweeney, I should note, in the Quibi bit in the beginning. James Russian provided some music, which we edited into the film in that last bit. So, once again, thanks for tuning in so much. I hope you all enjoyed the show. And for now, have a good night.